Sting like a butterfly, float like a bee. Wait, that's the wrong order. But that's not important right now. Let me tell you what's important. The most dangerous swordsman in the entirety of the One Piece universe, and probably the biggest obstacle for our pirate hunter Zoro. Who knows, maybe he will even kill Mihawk and become the world's greatest swordsman for some time before Zoro finally takes the title for himself. But well, let me not waste any more time here. All I can tell you is to never underestimate a devil fruit that we have known for such a long time already. 15 years to be precise, and I think some people really think it's really weak, even though it's probably one of the most dangerous devil fruits out there. So for now, let us play a short game of Super Sword Senor. I believe this one is going to be quite easy, so I trust you can win this ultra impressive prize this time. So let's take a look here, and we have 3 swordsmen to present, and your job is to tell me who has the highest bounty. No cheating, I see everything. In the front is Mikazuki, the captain of the Big Helmet Pirates. This samurai looks... he does have a Wano origin, maybe, he could have. Next we have Peachbeard, or Momohige. Everybody knows the legend of Whitebeard in the uprising of the new Yonko Blackbeard, but only real beard fans know legendary Peachbeard. And I finally can tell you about the one-hit wonder Big Knife Sarkis. He's a member of Bellamy's crew, and extended Doflamingo's crew, maybe I can say that as well. So if this isn't your first rodeo, you know what to do if you lose. One day I will capture you all, but to explain for new members of the crew, your punishment for losing this game will be to subscribe to my channel. Even though it's not really a punishment if you think about all the benefits you get from it, always improving what-if scenarios, discussions and theories. However, now the time has come. The ultimate prize for winning this game will be free swords lessons from the greatest swordsman out there in the universe of One Piece right now, Breakfuel Mihawk. Protection gear and hospital bills are not included in the price. So, what is your answer? Think about it and take a guess. I will reveal the answer to you in a bit here. Look at these characters again. Mikazuki, Peachbeard, and Sarkis. An answer in 3, 2, 1, and slash! It is, well, yes, it is Momohige or Peachbeard, depending on if you want to go Japanese or English. So he has a bounty of 52 million berry, and is the subordinate of Blackbeard, so he will for sure shake up the world one day. But now tell me, did you guess right? If you did, good luck with your coach Mihawk. He turned Zoro into a top tier character in only 2 years. Let's see how far you can come, but if you guessed wrong, you know what to do. And please say hi in the comments down below. Let's not waste any time and jump right into the main part of the discussion. So here we are. I'm not going to make a big secret out of this. The character I talk about in this discussion is the character you see on the thumbnail. It's like Shiryu of the Rain, that's his title. And well, I think he is the potentially most dangerous swordsman out there in the One Piece universe. If what I have in mind for his devil fruit, so this is a discussion and a theory combined, will turn out to be true. So please take a look at everything I will say here. This video is all about Shiryu and the potential danger he holds with his devil fruit, combined with his swordsmanship. But like always, I researched a bit for different topics, and then I found the book called Go Rin no Sho, or the Book of 5 Rings. Especially there's one of the books called the Book of Void, while the other books teach you about battle strategy, training advice and fighting techniques. The Book of Void, well, it lists more the philosophical stuff of the matter of sword fighting and other things. Also the nature of both human knowledge and other things. So it is more of a vague matter and it leaves a lot for interpretation, and if you want to become one of the greatest swordsmen out there, you need to have some form of philosophy. And Zoro actually has one as well. He learned that from his teacher back at his hometown, and then also later in some of the arcs we watched over this span of One Piece. But now let's get over this here. The book is interesting overall. It has a particular focus on that which cannot be seen, which is interesting because it already made me think about 2 things connected to One Piece. First, the invisible power everybody knows and the strongest people in the One Piece world use, Haki. Because I think Oda actually said that we as the viewer only see Haki as a visual representation, but the people inside of the world actually don't see it. Like, it's an invisible power you don't see. But there's another invisible power here, and that's, well, the invisibility fruit, or the see-through fruit, or, well, the Suki no Mi. It doesn't really matter what you want to call it. So, the idea here is that this ability will be a massive problem for Zoro, because he will fight against the invisible Shiryu one day. So here we are, and Shiryu with the probably awakened Suki no Mi is going to be a massive problem for any swordsman. You could even call him the sword user killer, because instead of just turning see-through or invisible, the user of the awakened Suki no Mi can turn into nothing. And that power is going to be incredibly powerful, because what can you do if there is something that is nothing? How can you fight against nothing, but this nothing can attack you? So here we are. They always practice, so the swords fighters, they always practice more and more to cut harder things. But how would they cut nothing? Not even like going through the wind or some other form of element. It's only the void. With this ability, it would be even like questionable if people like Ryuma or Mihawk would be able to sense the nothingness Shiryu. By awakening, he would not only turn into nothing, but also be impossible to detect by observation haki. Like, remember the thing where Luffy and our boy, what's his name? The first mate of Roger's pirate, Silver's Rayleigh. Silver's Rayleigh was training Luffy for 2 years, and then there was this one time where Silver's Rayleigh completely got rid of his like presence, so that Luffy couldn't even detect him with observation haki. So this would be in a similar way, but even more powerful. Shiryu would completely get rid of his entire presence, so that you can't like just detect him with observation haki, can't just hear him, can't just feel him. You need to feel this nothingness that is here, and this is going to be the problem that Zoro has to go through. So here we are. This is going to be what I think is the final fight, or maybe the second to final fight before he fights against Mihawk for our pirate hunter Zoro. So this is my idea for the most dangerous swordsman in the One Piece universe. I personally never heard of such a theory before, but it probably is already out there. I mean, there's a lot of One Piece theories floating around, and I just can't possibly find everything, even if I research for it. So this sort of setup is not actually the first time with what I'm doing here. Turning into nothing gives a lot of potential for another scene to achieve the same amount of hype as one of my favorite scenes in the entirety of One Piece. The scene I'm talking about is from the Alabasta arc, and it's the climax of the fight between Mr. One, Des Bones, and Zoro. He was there cutting steel. This fight was amazing. While being heavily injured, Zoro has a revelation. He starts hearing the breathing of things, which allows him to not cut some leaves, to easily cut a stone, and finally achieve what he couldn't do before, cut through steel. And he then thanks Mr. One, Des Bones, for teaching him that he can become even stronger and support Luffy even more. Des Bones then asks him if the next thing he's going to do is cut through diamond. But Zoro has some philosophical answer here, because he had some revelations, as I said. He thinks it's a waste to just go for diamond now, because he already learned that this is something more. There's something more to it. He has the power to learn to cut through nothing, but through everything. So this is where we're going here, because Zoro maybe already has like a taste of this power, but needs to further dive into this to be able to, well, defeat Shiryu in this final upcoming battle. So, some other translations call it the rhythm of things. The idea that the breath of things is connected to haki is very popular, but Zoro needs to be even more advanced to hear or feel the breath of nothing. So, the breath of nothing, or rhythm of nothing you want to call it, is very interesting, and here I have a quote from Miyamoto Musashi, who is the author of this Book of Five Rings, or the Gori no Sho, and let me just tell you it. Fifthly, the Book of the Void. By void, I mean that which has no beginning and no end. Attaining this principle means not attaining the principle. The way of strategy is the way of nature. When you appreciate the power of nature, knowing the rhythm of any situation, you will be able to hit the enemy naturally and strike naturally. All this is the way of the void. I intend to show how to follow the true way according to the nature in the Book of the Void, Miyamoto Musashi. And well, if you just like make the equivalent of void and nothing, there's this interesting theory of cutting nothing, because also in the anime, I think there's different translations. It's of the ability that Swordsman, the most powerful swordsman, can cut nothing, but he can also like here it says can cut nothing. But in the manga translation I found was he can not cut anything, which is basically the same as cutting nothing. Not cutting anything is the same as cutting nothing. So the question is, when will Zoro achieve that? And is this like sword teacher ever going to be relevant? He has some sort of connection with the Revolutionary Army, so will we ever see him again, or is he just going to disappear and not be relevant in any like topic in the future? But here we are. And let me tell you, how he will achieve this, well, why don't you tell me your ideas in the comments down below. I can talk about this in another video because Zoro needs a lot of improvement. He, in my opinion, is after Luffy probably the most advanced in armament haki in this crew right now. But for this he needs to be very advanced in observation haki as well. Or maybe cutting nothing is actually connected to like armament haki. Like, it's a bit of a topic you need to think about, because Zoro needs to learn a lot of things until he can actually fight against Mihawk. Unless he already defeated Mihawk, but he seems to be fine. And I think the battle between Mihawk and Zoro is probably going to end with a death, but that's just my opinion. So because Mihawk is still alive, I don't think that Zoro has surpassed him just yet. But here we are going to go with the future. Oda is probably going to show us this in the manga in quite... It's not going to happen so soon. We're going to have to wait at least 2-3 years maybe until we see the moment where Zoro can cut through nothing. And now I guess this can both count as a discussion and a theory, as I said before. Shiryu as a character, well, he actually doesn't have much to show for him. He was a warden on the same level as Magellan and Impel Down, but he killed the prisoners, and because of that he was imprisoned himself. Until Blackbeard obviously freed him before the whole Marineford fiasco. So here we are, and it's like, this is literally all we know about him. Basically all of the Blackbeard pirates, we know next to nothing about them, and they are all blank slates, if you want to call them that. To establish them, they are supposed to be the final enemies, or like at least one of the final opponents the Straw Hats have to face. Because the question is, maybe Blackbeard's crew is going to be the opponent that Luffy and everybody has to fight on Lovetail. And then the final war will be against the Marines and Emu and the Gorosei and these people. Or maybe the final war is going to be against Blackbeard, or it's going to be an all-out war between the Marines, Blackbeard, the Straw Hat Pirates, and the Alliance with the Revolutionaries and all these different things. But what's important here is we know nothing about the Blackbeard Pirates. I feel like the characters that have been most established are Blackbeard and Jesus Burgess. We know a few things about Shiryu, and well, the people we met on Jaya we know a bit about, but not really that much. So I think there's something really important Oda could do. That I think to establish them, we need an arc for the Blackbeard Pirates. So we could have, if Oda decides to spend an entire year on fleshing out the Blackbeard Pirates, I think this could be one of the greatest setups of all time. Like the author of My Hero Academia, I think his name is Horikoshi, did something similar with his villains. He did something called My Villain Academia, or Academy, which is still a fan favorite arc. And I believe if Oda did something similar with the Blackbeard Pirates, which is like a Blackbeard Pirate arc or Blackbeard One Piece arc, it's just going to establish all of their backstories and make them one of the best antagonistic groups that we will ever see here. Building the characters is going to be a major thing because, well, we don't know anything right now, and we need to find stuff out for them to be these big bad evil guys in the end of the story. But that's up for Oda, and whatever he's going to do, it's probably going to be good. I mean, if it's going to be bad, I will be the first to say it, because I don't just say that Oda is a god for nothing. He is a good author, but he has his mistakes. But before I go down too deep into his tangents, well, the Blackbeard Pirate arc would be interesting, but for now, let me just say thank you for spending your time with this video. If you watched until the end, why not click on the like button? I would really appreciate it. It is always fun to talk about those kind of things, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So all that is left to be said is stay healthy, stay cultured, and most importantly, stay hot. So now let me just turn into nothing real quick. How can I do this? It's so easy for Shiryu, but how can I really do this? Well, now here we go. Ooh, now you can see me. So, not even you viewers with your highly advanced observation haki can see me. I'm nothing and you won't ever see me again. Until the next video, that is. But thank you for being here, and this has been Pyro Prima. We will see each other again in the next time. Until then, bye!